Vegetables be damned. I'm gonna kick his ass. All that talk about trying to look out for us. I knew he had an agenda. He wasn't trying to protect us or some investment. He was trying to protect his wife. I knew that bastard had something up his sleeve. No, quite frankly, he was telling you the truth. If he said that he was trying to protect you, he was probably doing just that. I assure you, my mother doesn't need protection. The days when that was something that he had to worry about have long since faded. The list of people that could actually endanger my mother is a very short one. Often at times, my father ends up having to stick his neck out to keep our home from being, well, blown up, burnt down, turned into a war zone. Quite frankly, he spends more time on it than he really should. Believe it or not, my father is actually quite morally upstanding. He rather disagrees with violence. He prefers business. According to his words, violence is not your first choice of action. Violence is what you do when your choice of action fails. And the shit hits the fan. Is your entire family this screwy? Victor shouted. I mean, seriously. What kind of family are you? We're a very strange one, Sylvia replied. I mean, truthfully, most people wouldn't believe half the things that we've seen throughout our lifetimes. And as far as our family goes, of course we're strange. I mean, seriously, what do you expect the family of the man who killed the devil himself and took his place to be like? Strange is sort of our bread and butter. In fact, both myself and Rebecca are actually reincarnations of some of my father's oldest friends. What? Victor replied. Yes, my father apparently knew me before he and my mother got married. Apparently, I taught him magic for a while when he was just coming up as a mage. And Rebecca was my daughter, though the idea seems strange to me. It doesn't seem strange to me, Rebecca replied. I mean, you're always trying to mother me around. Even though we're the same age. We're twins. Yes, Rebecca, but one of us is obviously more mature than the other. Someone has to be the adult between us. And you're far too lighthearted. Look, are we gonna keep fighting? Or can we just call an end to this? 'Cause right now, I'm just getting more and more confused, Victor said, rubbing his forehead. Well, I suppose we could call it a draw and let you go on your way, so long as you leave quietly. Fine, Victor said as he whirled his gun away, holstering both of them as the shadowy form around him dissipated. This has been nothing but a pointless headache. A waste of ammo. Bullets aren't free, you know. Well, sorry, money isn't something that we're exactly concerned with. When your finances are basically infinite, you could spend as much as you want. I could buy 2 of everything and still have more. Well, hooray for being spoiled, I guess, Victor replied, as we all began to gather towards one central group. So how exactly does this work when nobody actually loses? Victor said. I mean, I've been in mage spaces before, but they always ended when I actually beat the sorcerer, or spellcaster, or whatever the hell you want to call yourself. And how do you get out without somebody being dead or unconscious? It's a very easy process, Sylvia replied. But quite frankly, we're going to need to shift things around a bit. I definitely don't want to bring you out at the point that we took you in. It would be better if we shifted, which might take a bit, to find a safe place to put you down. It would be best to do so outside of the house, somewhere on the outer grounds. That way, Mother will be less inclined to want to play. Yeah, I seriously don't think I could handle that right now. I've used up so much spiritual energy. There's no way I could deal with it. Well, it shouldn't be too much trouble. Sylvia replied. Oh, no, not yet, Rebecca shouted as she gave a twirl of her finger. And her cell phone seemed to apparate out of nowhere, simply dropping out of the air into her hand. Okay, Heavy Metal Knight, what's your cell phone number? So I can call you. Oh, not with this again, Rebecca. Hey, the fight's over. Let me do what I want. Well, I'm not so sure giving out my number would be a good idea, I replied, not knowing what else to say. I was uncertain of whether to give my number to someone whose mother might try to kill me. Plus, I have the whole superhero secret identity thing. Fine, give your number to me. Or just look me up. Victor Fritz, private investigator, New Star City. Or you can go through the wardens to find me. It doesn't really matter. I'm fairly easily found. You contact me, I'll contact him. Wait a second, you know his secret identity? Rebecca said, looking over to Victor angrily. Yeah? Why is that a weird thing? Why does he get to know it? Well, because I knew him before he had superpowers. Come on, Heavy Metal, can't you just tell me? I won't tell anybody, I promise. I don't think that would be a good idea. It is a secret identity for a reason. Yeah, I'd advise you stick with that, Heavy Metal. But I don't have a problem with meeting up sometime. If Victor's willing to be our go-between. Hell, with the odds I'm facing, having another friend to help out might just be a very handy thing to have, I said, as I started to feel a tingling sensation as I noticed a somewhat purplish sheen of glow starting to form around me. Oh no. No, 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 Rebecca exclaimed as she began to move in my direction. Meanwhile, I was just wondering what was going on. But before Rebecca could make contact, the entire world shifted around me. And before I knew it, I wasn't in the space that I was in before. I was somewhere else. As I looked around, the scenery had completely changed. Suddenly, I found myself in a very strange environment. As I looked around, I seemed to be in some sort of a mansion, an exceptionally large one by the look of it, right in some sort of main entry area, lavish stairs leading up to a second floor, the whole thing done in marble and white, looking like the highest of high class, sort of a billionaire mansion, you might say. And Rebecca, Sylvia, and Victor were nowhere to be seen. I was there all by myself. Okay, this does not look good, because as I looked around, this wasn't the mansion that I was originally in. This was way different. I spotted a glowing light emanating from my armor, right there on my chest plate. What looked like a neon glowing rabbit. Just a little bunny. And the bunny had a number on it. Number 4,000 and something. What the hell is this? And the strange bunny marking on my armor wasn't the only change. This environment was anything but normal. As I looked upon the walls, they were all, of course, perfectly well maintained. Flawless white, roses with vases lining the walls, beautiful statues, or at least beautiful in construction. The statues themselves were a bit more horrifying. Figures of people being run through with blades, heads being cut off and held above the bodies. Paintings lined the wall of death and despair, blood and agony. It was a horror show. And as I looked to the ceiling above, while there did appear to be a ceiling, it was far from normal. It was as if the sky itself, the night sky that hangs above head, complete with a full moon, simply existed within the structure of the ceiling, moonlight shining down, its light passing through the crystals of the chandelier, filling the entire space with light. Okay, Toto, I don't think we're in Kansas anymore.